For more than 20 years, humanity has had a constant presence in space, a single, shining outpost circling our planet. But what happens when that home, our only one, is scheduled for demolition? Well, we're standing on the edge of a massive shift. The era of a single government-run icon is coming to an end, and it's making way for a brand new age of private business in orbit. This is the story of how low Earth orbit is officially open for business. For decades, whenever you thought of humans in space, this is probably what came to mind: the sprawling International Space Station, a huge symbol of global cooperation. But the future, well, it looks a little different. It's sleeker, it's more modular, and it's built by private companies. This picture really captures the incredible transition we're about to see. So, why is this all happening now? The ISS is an absolute marvel of engineering, no doubt about it. But even marvels have a lifespan. We really need to understand why this titan of the sky is being retired. I mean, the ISS has had an incredible run. From its very first module launch way back in 1998, it's hosted over 3,000 experiments and crews from all over the world. But after more than 3 decades of service, its final mission is already on the calendar, a planned deorbit in 2030. And a huge, huge reason for that deadline is the cost. Just think about this number for a second. $3 billion. That's roughly the bill NASA foots every single year just to keep the lights on and the life support humming. That's money that could be pushing us deeper into the solar system. But beyond the cost, the station is just, well, it's getting old. It zips around the Earth 16 times a day, going from scorching hot sunlight to the freezing cold of deep space. That causes serious metal fatigue. And every year that goes by, the risk of microfractures and a major depressurization event goes up. So the bottom line is, this isn't really a choice. It's a physical and financial necessity. So if the ISS is going away, what's next? This is where the story gets really, really exciting. See, NASA isn't building a replacement. Instead, it's kicking off a whole new kind of space race. NASA's new plan is honestly brilliant. They're shifting from being the owner and operator to just being one of many customers. Through their commercial low Earth orbit destinations program, NASA is basically funding private companies to build their own space stations. This creates a competitive market where the agency can just rent lab space and astronaut time whenever they need it. And here are the main contenders in this new race. First, you have Axiom Space, and they have this really clever strategy of attaching their new modules to the ISS first, and then just separating later to form their own station. Then there's Orbital Reef, backed by heavy hitters like Blue Origin and Sierra Space. They envision a mixed-use business park using these massive inflatable habitats. And finally, you've got Starlab, which is a dedicated science platform designed to be launched in a single, powerful mission. Each one is taking a totally different shot at becoming orbit's next big destination. Now, this isn't just about finding a new place for NASA astronauts to work. No, this is about unlocking an entirely new economy in the sky. I absolutely love this quote because it just perfectly frames the shift. The ISS was kind of like a public library, right? Taxpayer-funded, focused on very structured research. These new stations are being designed from the ground up to be factories and innovation labs, built to make a profit. And the potential profits are just staggering. We're talking about a projected $1 trillion space economy by the year 2040. That is the gold rush that's fueling the race to build these new orbital platforms. And this vision right here, this is the holy grail of the new space economy, in space manufacturing. Just imagine a factory where gravity doesn't exist, where you can create materials with a perfection that is physically impossible down here on Earth. That's the promise. The process itself sounds pretty simple, but it's revolutionary. You launch raw materials into orbit, use the unique properties of zero-G to manufacture absolutely perfect products, and then bring those super high-value goods back home. So what kind of stuff are we talking about specifically? Well, things like flawless fiber optic cables that have almost zero signal loss. Or, get this, growing human tissues and mini organs in 3 dimensions for drug testing, perfecting protein crystals to design brand new medicines. And that's not even counting the market for private astronauts, space tourism, and even super secure data centers.
Okay, but let's ground ourselves for a moment. Building a thriving economy in the most hostile environment known to humanity is, not easy. There are some immense challenges to overcome. And these hurdles are huge. Technologically, these companies have to perfect the life support systems that keep astronauts alive. And that's something that has challenged even NASA. Financially, they've got to build a business model that attracts enough customers besides NASA to actually be profitable. And legally, we are entering totally uncharted territory. We need new rules for everything from who owns an invention created in space to how we manage the growing traffic jam overhead.
But if these challenges can be met, it marks a fundamental change in our relationship with space. It really is the end of one era, but it's the true beginning of another. This shift is fundamental. We're moving from a government outpost to a routine place of business, from exploration led by just a handful of nations to innovation driven by countless private companies. And what that does is it frees NASA to lift its gaze from our backyard in low Earth orbit and focus on returning to the moon and pushing onto Mars. So the end of the ISS shouldn't really be seen as a loss. Its ultimate legacy won't be the metal and modules. Its legacy is the priceless knowledge that we can live and work in space. The ISS was the proof of concept that's now making this entire commercial revolution possible. It walked so these new ventures could run. So as private industry turns low Earth orbit into a routine, bustling marketplace, it leaves us with one profound question. With LEO now open for business, what is the next great frontier that humanity is going to open up?